Jason Statham's $75 million sci-fi action movie Remake is getting a new streaming home in December. Earlier in 2024, Statham enjoyed one of his biggest box office successes in years, when his politically charged, John Wick-inspired action film The Beekeeper unexpectedly took in $152 million worldwide. Statham may now have a new franchise on his hands, as director David Ayer has hinted that The Beekeeper 2 could happen. Statham has been a reliable action stalwart for years, thanks to films like The Beekeeper, as well as high-profile projects like The Meg and Fast and Furious, and more cult-friendly fare like Crank and Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. The star indeed boasts a long filmography filled mostly with action-packed titles, many of which are available on streaming platforms, allowing for at-home exploration of every nook and cranny of Statham's lengthy resume. Death Race is crashing its way onto Max. Statham's 2008 action movie has a new streaming home. Originally released in 2008, director Paul W. S. Anderson's Death Race, a remake of Roger Corman's 1975 cult classic Death Race 2000, enjoyed a modest box office run, taking just $36 million in North America. The film ultimately didn't make enough to launch a theatrical franchise, but it did spawn a pair of direct-to-video prequels and a direct-to-video sequel, none of which brought back original Death Race star Statham. Statham is on board for the original 2008 Death Race, which gets a new streaming home on Max beginning on December 1, 2024, Warner Bros. Discovery has announced. Our take on Death Race coming to Max. The Meg is already on the streamer. Jason Statham gazes upward with menace in a scene from Death Race image via Universal. Statham today is one of the most prolific action stars around, and his filmography is peppered with titles that make for fun streaming watches. Death Race may not be the first film that comes to mind when choosing a Statham film to stream, but it does occupy a special niche in his resume, being one of the star's few sci-fi offerings. Max indeed has Statham's other notable sci-fi titles, The Meg and its sequel Meg 2, The Trench, either of which could be paired with Death Race for an entertainingly over-the-top double feature. Director Anderson's Death Race may not be as scathingly satirical as the Corman-produced, Paul Bartel-directed 1975 original movie, but it does contain some worthy action, and Statham's simmering presence is always appreciated. The cast overall is solid, thanks to strong supporting actors like Joan Allen, Ian McShane, and Tyrese Gibson. There's even a voice-only appearance by David Carradine, who starred in the original movie as the racer Frankenstein. Critics were unsurprisingly harsh in their assessment of Death Race when it released in 2008, as reflected in the movie's 42% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Almost 20 years after its initial release, the movie could now be ripe for a reputational upgrade. On the other hand, maybe those critics were correct back in 2008, and Death Race really is just another run-of-the-mill brain-dead action movie. Beginning December 1st, Max subscribers can arrive at their own conclusion about whether the action-packed remake plays well in 2024.